Graeme Finnegan, the founder of Grounded coffee bars and restaurants, because that's what you got in both places. It's not just coffee bars.
That's it. Thanks very much for having me, Ron.
No, it's a joy to have you, because you're iconically at the heart of the young Nuria community. And I'd thought the heartbeat section of the program, the meaning of life, that it's because you go into schools and you give people encouragement. You talk your alma mater up at St. Coleman's. Yep. You're there talking to the young people. And when you do that, what is the one message above all other messages that you bring them?
Well, usually whenever I go up to the schools, it's talking to business studies students about how to open their own business. So it always comes back to just being, if you have a vision, if you have a dream, realize it and be determined. And often you come across setbacks, but your determination should always supersede that.
Yeah.
And it's just really to keep at it and work hard at it.
You see, I wonder about the business of vision. Vision is a lovely romantic thing.
Yeah.
Vision is something that happens you quietly of a winter's night when you're dreaming of the spring.
That's it,
or whatever else. And then somebody says to you, well, have your business plan by Thursday. Suddenly, ding, 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 ding. You're into a different ball game.
It is, yeah. Well, I that's one of the things I chat to the wee guys about. Like, I started thinking about opening up Grounded when I was 18 years of age. So basically, I'm chatting to the guys who are about a year younger than I was when I started thinking about it. And like I used to say to them, everything used to be sketches and the table plan sketched out on a file page. I used to tell them about the yellow pages. The yellow pages I used to go through and look at the competitors in Uri. Of course, we haven't got the yellow pages now. But I used to sketch all these things, and the way people see, when you drive past Grounded now at the minute, that's the sketches that I had drawn whenever I was 18.
In your head?
18 years old. But then, as you say, whenever people say, where's your business plan, it's time to get all the vision out of your head and into a document. So you can.
How easy is it for the visionary, who is Graeme Finnegan, to metamorphosize into the business head, Graeme Finnegan?
Well, it's sometimes it's very difficult, because, like, I say to people, business for me isn't about making money, and it's not about making money because we're down there, and it's such a.
But if you're going to do it right anyway, you will. Money will come.
If you're good at it,
you'll get through. You're not going to go broke. Yeah.
Well, again, I say to the wee guys up in the schools, and the wee guys and girls in schools, whenever you were young, you wanted to be an astronaut, you wanted to be a footballer, you wanted to be a singer, or all of these things, and then you get into school, you get into academics, and you're told you have to be a doctor, a solicitor, or a teacher. You get regimented into these things, and the whole process of dreaming and vision is sucked out of you, really.
Yeah. Who told you that you had to be a radiographer?
No one told me I had to be. Radiography came. My mummy had cancer, and she was a patient down in Beaver Park Hospital at the time, and I seen all the health professionals, the doctors, the nurses, the radiographers helping her. I would have loved to have been an oncologist, but I just didn't have the brains to be an oncologist, so I thought I'd be a radiographer, and I'll sort of...
Oncology, the blood, looking after the
blood and cancer.
The evils in the blood.
So that's the reason I chose to be radiographer, because radiotherapist, because I seen radiotherapists and I seen radiographers helping cancer patients.
Suddenly, let's get this straight. Suddenly you saw something in your life that made you feel, this is good, this is helping people. I want to do this.
Yeah. Again, that job, I use skills that I learned in that job today, and people think, when I go up to talk to these students as well, and they're sitting going, but I never done business studies at GCSE or any level, and they say, like, where did you get the skills, the things. I goes, well, whenever I was a radiotherapist, you engage with patients for maybe 5 to 6 weeks at a time, Monday to Friday, in their time slot every single day, and you build up a relationship with them, you build up a rapport with them, so you take out the fact, you try to remove from the situation that they're coming for cancer treatment, and you try to talk about their families, and you try to talk about what they done last night, and you try to normalise everything, and you establish a connection and a real rapport with that patient, and not only the patient, their families. So it was probably, I would say that as a radiotherapist, that's where I sort of honed my skills of social interaction and sort of that communication skills between myself and a patient, and it's extrapolated it into a business world, and I do it now on a daily basis with my customers who come in.
But
and again, I try to, when I use the skills down and grounded, you're trying to remove the fact that there's a financial transaction taking place, and it's more of a sort of social thing rather than anything else.
But there's part of my head in relation to grounded. I can close my eyes and I can feel I'm in Manhattan. Is that me just being silly?
Well, no, I think it's a busy corner, and it's sort of, especially the times you would be in the morning times, Ron, you see everybody rushing to work, and you're sort of in this.
My work's near done at that stage.
Near done. You're sitting in a sort of a wee enclave. The heating's on. There's nice music, and there's you can hear the pitter patter of voices and the crockery.
That's a nice way to put the pitter patter of voices.
The crockery is one of the things. Whenever I was, in the executive summary of my business plan when I wrote it years and years ago, it was that sound of crockery knocking against each other as it was put away, and that was one of the things that, that was one of the, what I wanted to do with my customers is literally take every single one of their senses, their smell. You smell the coffee when you go in. That's why we don't deep fry anything in grounded, so you can smell that coffee. The sound, you've got the music, you've got the crockery rattling and the people talking. You can taste the coffee, and just really sort of trigger every single one of the senses there.
And that happens.
And just make people feel comfortable then.
But you're not new to the retail business. Your dad had a shop.
Yeah, he had a wee shop.
You grew up behind the counter almost.
I grew up behind I remember going.
What's your first memory of your dad's shop, and where was the shop?
It was out in the Meta. It used to be a porta cabin before I came along.
Down at the corner of Helen's Terrace.
Helen's Terrace, just at
and where it comes back up the pathway up. Sure, I shopped in it when we lived in the middle.
So my dad had a video shop, and I remember the videos before Video Box, before Extra Vision, before any of the big guys. Where my dad had a video shop, and people used to come to this video shop. But on a Thursday, the videos used to get delivered on a Thursday, you see, for the weekend, like the brand spanking new videos, and you used to have to book them out. So Thursday night for us in our house, we got to watch the new film, and that was always a great thing, because you got to watch it before everyone else, and there would be a load of sausages made, brown sauce, everybody sitting in and making sandwiches in the living room. But I used to love going to the cash and carry with my dad, and it was a Merchant's Quay, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was the bottom of Merchant's Quay over towards. My belief, maybe I'm wrong here.
Was it where
down
where Reflex behind Argus, was it?
Yeah, possibly
somewhere there.
So, yeah.
But I remember going in there, and I was so small. I was that small that I used to sit on the wee trolleys. My dad used to push me around, and I can remember going around, and I remember picking stuff up and putting the thing, and then look around, and my dad at the back in the shelf and all.
You're defining a happy childhood.
Yeah, it was brilliant fun. And I used to, in my head, I used to get 30p pocket money every day. And there used to be a couple of girls from the Meta who used to work in it. I used to spend 30p with my dad during the day. And then whenever the shift change came in, I used to go in and try my hand at, no, I didn't spend my 30p today, Mary. And try to get it done again, It never worked with my dad. Good communication between my dad and the staff.
Yeah.
But he had that, and beside it was a hairdresser's as well.
Yeah,
but it was a brilliant wee shop.
What in your childhood, apart from those elements, what was the core value that was almost in an unspoken way? Was your dad a man of Dundalk, who came to Newry? What value was he transmitting into the young Graeme Finnegan?
Well, do you know what? I seen him working in the shop, and I seen people coming in, and again, that was the 80s. People in the area where there was nothing. People have a few pound now, but back then there was nothing. People didn't have anything, and I seen people coming into the shop who needed things for the shop, and they didn't have money for the things in the shop, and he would give them away. He would give them and put them in the book, and if you say to my dad now, he goes, the book that had things in it from people that hadn't got the means to pay, or it wasn't that they didn't pay, they just didn't have the means to pay.
Yes.
That book was never reconciled, if you know what I mean. And my dad knew whenever he was giving those things away, and whenever he was sort of helping people out, that it wasn't going to be reconciled. But I seen that, and I sort of think, again, it's it's not about money, and it's more so about sort of that sort of, you know, being just kind and responsible for your community. And I seen him that way. And I also, the wee shop was a hub as well for the area, for the Meta. You know, I never, before I was 10 or 12, I never left the Meta.
I think of another hub, Grounded,
Yeah,
at the
well,
bottom of
that's
the
it, yeah.
street.
So, you know, I think maybe sort of subconsciously that has sort of come into come into being, and I've sort of tried to do that down the road then. You know.
Let's play you a piece of music. What have we got for you? Sean, have we something there for the man?
James Taylor, yeah.
You like James?
I love James Taylor.
We're going for James Taylor.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. Just got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Whoa, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Been walking my mind to an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, there's hours of time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines in pieces on the ground. Whoa, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again now. Thought I'd see you one more time again. There's just a few things coming my way this time around now. Thought I'd see you, thought I'd see you.
Destination Newry. Keep it on. We're back in moments.
Bellini's Bar and Restaurant, Merchants Quay, Newry. Experience the passion of Bellini's in our Venetian-themed bar and restaurant. Home of great music, great atmosphere, and great food. It's time to get dressed up and enjoy a night in Bellini's. For a quiet drink, first-class dining experience, or dance the night away to the best live music, it has to be Bellini's. And don't forget our Renaissance Suite for banquets, weddings, or conferences. Find Bellini's on Merchants Quay, Newry. Check our website for more, bellinisnewry.com.
If you want to watch this show from the comfort of your home on your TV, then all you have to do is get your hands on our brand new Roku box, where you can watch all the amazing shows we have here at Destination Newry. Simply get yours now by calling us on 028 308 34010 and get yours today.
Destination. You've reached your destination. Go!
You are with Destination Newry. It's the morning programme. I'm Rowan Hand. I'm joined in studio by Graeme Finnegan of Grounded Coffee Bars and Restaurants. And we're shooting the breeze on our new programme sector, and that is the meaning of life. Heartbeat, the meaning of life. That was pleasant, that James Taylor.
Yeah.
You're a fan of Taylor.
Yeah, I love James Taylor.
Before we get back into conversation and just after the news that's coming now in a moment, what can we play you now, Graeme?
A wee song by Matt Corby's called Brother. It's I listen to it about 15 times every night.
Wow.
James, this is James's dancing song. He dances to this and jumps. And
Okay,
bounces.
let's do that, Sean.
Sleep now under my skin. Make sure you try to conjure the wind and ease my mind. Somebody call out to your brother. He's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. Oh, you couldn't help out your own neighbor. You couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame. You cower in the corner, confide in your father. Let it out and say, let it pass away. Sleep now under my skin. Make sure you try to conjure the wind and ease my mind. And I say, somebody call out to your brother. He's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. Oh, you couldn't help out your own neighbor. You couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame. You cower in the corner, confide in your father. Let it out and say, you cower in the corner, confide in your father. Let it break your day. Let it out and say, night you were a fake here. From there on you might just go. Somebody call out to your brother.
Yeah, it's Rowan Hand. Ciara Sloan to update us with the news here on Destination Uri.
Thanks, Rowan. Police are appealing for information following an incident of criminal damage in the Kingsmill Road area of Bessbrook. Paint is being daubed on a memorial in the area around 4:15 on Saturday the 7th of February. Police are treating this as a hate crime and are appealing to anyone who witnessed the incident to contact officers at Ardmore Police Station. Northern Ireland's private sector has had a difficult start to 2015, according to the latest survey of local businesses. It showed new orders, output and employment all fell in January. Each of the three areas monitored on a monthly basis across a panel of firms, providing a snapshot of the economy. Ulster Bank said the reduction in business activity was the strongest since the end of 2012. A final decision on plans to cut funding from 2 teacher training colleges in Belfast is to be made this week. Learning Minister Stephen Farry wants to remove the small and specialist institution premium funding for both St Mary's and Strumpmillis colleges in Belfast. The Northern Ireland Executive is due to make the decision on Thursday. That's me for today,
That's it.
everyone.
Thank you very much indeed. That's
Thank you.
Ciara Sloan. Take a bow, and back shortly taking a bow for you, Graeme Finnegan of Grounded Coffee Bars and Restaurants. Our inaugural programme, or element within the overall programme, the inaugural heartbeat, and it's the meaning of life, things like that. Who knows? But people say, what will you talk about? The better question is, what will you not talk about? Coming shortly with Graeme.
We're back in moments.
Kelly's is a well-known and trusted name in home improvement and the building trade. We are committed to bringing you good value by delivering high-quality materials, tools and equipment for trade use and home DIY projects at very competitive prices. At Kelly's, we can help you build your dream home, or why not book your next car service, or even help out your swing with the best golf tuition money can buy. Stock up this winter with great value stoves and boilers. Contact us now on 028 417 73674 or call in and see us at Milltown East Industrial Estate, Upper Dromore Road, Wormpoint, Newry. Visit us online, kellys-diy.com. Kelly's, serving the industry since 1997.
Louis Boyd's, 58 Mill Street, Newry. If you want to dress to impress, Louis Boyd's is for you. Style, comfort and great value. Louis Boyd's. Menswear labels now in stock. Diesel, Tommy Hilfiger, Superdry, Ramus Yomo and G-Star. Also communion and confirmation wear. Open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Saturday 9 to 5:30. Thursday and Friday 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday 1 to 5 p.m. Louis Boyd's, 58 Mill Street or louisboyd.com.
Advertise your business here. Reach a weekly audience of 275,000 people. Be ahead of the rest. Call Damien on 078 08 80 34 75 or 028 308 34 012. JT Carpets Newry has been servicing the floor covering needs of Ireland since the 1970s. We have Ireland's largest stock of carpets on display. You can always be assured of our professional commitment to quality, service and outstanding value. Stocking a wide range of carpets, vinyl, wooden flooring, furniture, rugs and accessories. We are committed to providing the right product for your individual needs. Contact us today on 028 3083 9944. Why not call in store today in Bessbrook Industrial Estate, Mill Road, Newry.
You've reached your destination.
Destination Uri, the morning programme. Rowan Hand, your host, delighted to so be. Graeme in studio, Graeme Finnegan, my guest from Grounded Coffee Bars and Restaurants in Newry, and we're shooting the breeze this morning on that new segment within the programme. the meaning of life, but we put before it heartbeat, what it's all about, the meaning of life, that deep thrum that makes us who we are. Now, we've been talking about the development of Finnegan, the child, moving forward in life, growing up, your dad's philosophy of helping people. Is there a kind of a, do you believe in God, for example? Is there a God factor in your life?
Oh yeah, I'd be fairly faithful. So would and I was always brought up Mass on a Sunday, and my mother was very during her time, whenever she, obviously, like most people, you know, faith is very important to someone who's got a terminal illness. So, and it so for her, and we went on family trips to Lourdes, and every single night there would be about 25 to 30 people sometimes in my house doing a rosary. You know, I used to be outside playing football with my friends, and the call would come in, Graeme, come on in, the rosary's starting, you know. So faith in God is very important to me, and sort of it's something that, you know, not even faith, but just, you know, kindness and just being nice, and you know, you don't have to be a believer in God to be a nice person, I don't think, you know. And then there's often this thing where, you know, you can't be a nice person without believing in God, you know. But no, faith is very important to me, and sort of it has come from my parents, if you know what I mean.
Did the experience of the time of losing your mummy, did that experience to any extent take away from your belief in God or add to it?
No, it didn't, because I think, you know, my mother always taught me, you know, well, you know, obviously you question, why me, why us? But then my mother would have always answered back, well, if it wasn't me, it would have been someone else. You know, and you know, that's the way we always looked at it. And I know that, you know, I believing in God now, you know, sort of, and having a chat with God and all, essentially gives me a medium by which I can communicate with my mother. You know, so that's the way.
I heard that said by Cesare, the Dominican priest, the Italian Dominican priest. He said he often feels that his mother is there as an emissary from him to God, and that she's telling God about him and helping him in all the tough and trials he has.
We were sitting in Grounded the other day, myself and Amory and James, and obviously my dad's always in Grounded, always doing bits and pieces, and Amory said, I wonder what your mummy would have been doing had she been
Anne-Marie's your wife?
Anne-Marie's the girlfriend.
The girlfriend, yes, your fiancée.
And, you know, it got me thinking, you know, what would she have been doing in the shop? You know, would she have been, because like she used to do the accounts and the things like that for loads of people, you know, my uncles and all, and she used to teach people, tutor people for their GCSEs and their A-levels. She had loads of A-levels as well, but she'd done in her spare time. And I was just wondering what she would look like sitting in the shop, you know, and what she would be, like the way my daddy looks after everything behind the scenes, what would my mother's role in it be, you know. So it sort of just got me thinking about that, actually.
Do you have any sense at all that she's there as an unseen presence?
Well, every time, you do, yeah. You're constantly, it's like anything else. When you've got a mother and you're very, very, obviously, when you're close to your mother, you know, everything that's good that's happened to you is because she's guiding you, you know, and everything that's bad maybe happening to you, that's whenever you look to her for even more guidance, you know. So sort of, it's constantly just there, like. And even with James now, you're sitting, you know, we're looking at photographs, and obviously he knows his granny and Granda McCann, and he knows his Granda Finnegan, but you know, it's sometimes sad when you're looking at pictures and sitting there's your nana, you know, and he's going, who is this woman you're pointing at? Like,
yeah.
But I suppose
it was a mighty moment in your life, Graeme Finnegan, when the little man came along.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
There was a transformation occurred in you.
Big time. I think obviously you know the importance of family when you're a part of it. But when you have your own child and you're essentially, you've become, not the head, because me and Amory are definitely on a level playing field. She's the
you can
leader.
see he's a wise man.
But you know what I mean? You're the sort of, you're the controller of your own family then. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling, and it's sort of, you're sort of, your whole ethos and your whole approach to life completely changes. You know, and it's sort of, your outlook's different. The way you experience things completely different, and you know, like we still like me and Amory would sit there, and James would be sleeping around and everything, we'd be carrying on, and we're still looking at him as if he's brand new, going, "Flip me, can you believe we've a wee baby?" Like, you know, and it's fantastic, and you just like we were saying the other night as well, like, you know, obviously me and Amory have been together 4 years or so now, 4 or 5 years. and you're sitting going to yourself, you can't remember anything post or pre-James.
Before pre-James, yes,
you know,
yes,
and,
yes,
and
yes.
it's not that those times beforehand were no good or
No.
crack or
Yeah.
anything. It's just that this is so amazing, you know.
Is it? I certainly found the coming of children into my life. They were, in many ways, they were the cement that held together the blocks of relationship.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And you've a joint interest in seeing this child do well. What's your ambitions for him?
Well, basically, you can do whatever you know. Again, myself and Anne-Marie have obviously grounded myself, and grounded it's myself and Barry Johnson. So whenever I take James into the shop, it's not like I can hand this down to James and let him work in it, because it's a decision me and Barry would have to take.
Oh, yes.
And then Barry
yes.
have children, so it gets a bit messy. So obviously me and Anne-Marie have started to think about opening up our own wee cafe with a view to, you know, giving him somewhere to work when he's 14 and 15 and 16. Honestly, I don't I've no aspiration, you know, I wouldn't push him into doing anything, you know, and because I was never pushed into doing anything. And I think whenever you're not pushed into something and you're doing something because you're passionate about it and because you like doing it, well then, as you said earlier on, you get great at it. You know, and that's my only thing for James.
There's probably one certainty about, in there as well. He won't be going to the Abbey.
No. No, he'll be going to St. Coleman's as well. Well,
that's where you'd like him to go.
Wherever he gets into, you know, where. But
it is. There is a tremendous loyalty, Coleman's to Coleman's.
Yeah.
You know,
I would never have even from from over in the Meta, and whenever we were growing up, if somebody went to the Meta,
you're a Meta fella.
I'm a Meta fella. So were
you born in the Meta?
I was born in the Meta. Yeah. So whenever anybody went to the Abbey from the Meta, you were saying, "Go, why are you going to the Abbey?" Like, you know, well, I think it's more a geographical thing. You're across the road, and so
just up the hill
a
wee bit. Do you notice at all that we call it Rooney's Meadow?
Yeah.
Has it changed from the meadow you remember as a boy?
Well, as I said, I was very much in the Clonrye Park area there, and the terrace, the bottom of Sandy's. It was only whenever I was about 13.
Do you remember Sandy's Field?
Oh, that was the.
I grew up with Sandy McNeil's Field.
That was
the field that ran up from Oriel Road.
Yeah. That was the playground for me, and then as I got older, I was allowed to go over into the Meta. But I think the Meta, there's still it's one of those estates where the people who were living in it whenever I was there are still there.
Yes.
And it's nice to see that there's still that community in the Meta. There's still that sort of the same people are still living in it. And you know, all too often you get people coming in and coming out, and it's nice because it seems to be you've got a daughter with some younger families and stuff, and you've still got the originals as well.
And those same people, they rallied round recently to save Jennings Park. Now it's not quite saved yet, but you've made your. Where are you on the Jennings Park thing?
Well, you know, I'm not. You know, obviously, I don't know where I sit in it really. I've no real. You know, I know that whenever, if it's not Jennings Park and it's St. Clair's, the people from up that area will be going, we want to save St. Clair's. And then where's the other site? Is the Abbey Primary.
The Abbey, yes.
And whenever this go to, you know, I think for me, as long as it's in an area where it's linked to the city centre and it's accessible to people, well then I'm happy enough.
The city centre is at the very heart of your day-to-day professional ethos. You have a great pride in
I think Newry City Centre is great. You know, I love it. I think it can be an awful lot better, and I try to promote it as much as possible, and you know, myself alongside an awful lot of other people. You know, and it's important because, you know, like the Jennings Park thing, whenever people don't get together and you know, and try to save something, what happens is it just gets steamrolled. You know, and the city centre is the same. If people don't try to save it, whatever guise, if it's car parking, anything,
the interest expressed in Jennings Park will ensure that those responsible for its future will do it in a meaningful way. Already, the developer is talking about encompassing into the new health hub greenfield playing areas.
I think so. I think, and I'm not too sure who to. As I say, I don't know an awful lot about it because there's three options on the table there. And, you know.
Okay.
But I I think that there's playing fields, a new football field, a 3G football field are getting developed or something. So most of the times in these things, it's more of it's a fear of the unknown rather than anything else, you know. And I think that the developers are to be putting presentations out there at the minute to let people have a look at them and see what the crack is with them. But
one thing you've no fear of is your music. What would you like us to play for you now?
I think we're going to play Jose Gonzalez.
And why do you like Jose Gonzalez?
Well, it's just this particular song. It's very relaxing, nice. It's nice morning music. And again, it used to be whenever I was actually a radiographer, I used to get the train from Newry to Belfast. I used to be late all the time, Rowan. I don't know if you'd noticed that today. But I used to be late, and I used to be one of only 6 males that worked in the department, so I could get away with being late.
Oh, yes,
and I used to instead of getting off at the city hospital, I used to go on in the Great Victoria Street, get off at Great Victoria
Walk
Street, have a coffee, and then walk up and be about 30 minutes late. And this song was out at the time I was doing that.
Jose Gonzalez.
One night to be confused, one night to speed up truth. We had a promise made, 4 hands and then away, both under influence. We had divine sense to know what to say. Mind is a razor blade to call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough for me now? One night of magic rush, the start a simple touch. One night to push and scream, and then relief. 10 days of perfect tunes, the colors red and blue. We had a promise made, we were in love. To call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough for me now? To call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough? And you knew the hand of the devil, and you kept us awake with false teeth, sharing different heartbeats in one life. To call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough for me now? To call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough?
Yes, it's Destination Newry, the morning programme. I'm Rowan Hann. Graeme is with me, Graeme Finnegan from Grounded Coffee Bars and Restaurants, and you're very welcome indeed. We've been shooting the breeze about most things here today, and you're looking forward to the development of a new part of your, I use affectionately the term empire, there on Kildare Street.
Yeah.
And that's, you're about a month and a half away from something new opening
month
there.
and a half away from opening a wee coffee shop on the old Jack Smith's,
Yes.
McCaffrey's, Anderson's Bakery, whatever sort of guys that you remembered in. And we're sort of, that's what I've been, just literally last week got the keys of it, and we're in wrecking away.
So
at it.
what will the theme be within there?
Well, the look of the place is going to be we've tried to, it's a beautiful building. And we were driving, me and Anne-Marie were driving past the building, and it was the day that Gillian, Jack's daughter, was putting the A4 page up in the window to say it was the rent, and we called in that day, and that was
At
the
that
day.
moment
At
you
that
did?
moment, we pulled in, and that was
That was the decision made.
We'll take it, like.
Yeah.
So that was it was a good few months ago. So we're getting to the stage now where we're ready to sort of, well, we've started work on it, and in about a month and a half we're hoping to be open for business.
In there. Now, what will the cuisine be? What will the fare be?
This cafe, it's more, again, this is about family. So the purpose of this business is so that I can work, myself and Anne-Marie can work, and it will still be family orientated in that there's going to be no ridiculous opening hours like 6 a.m. from you know, and no midnights, and so it's a family social. It's a social, you know, it suits a family to work in it, if you know what I mean. So if I'm working in it at Anne-Marie's with James, if Anne-Marie's working in it, I've got, so it's...
Quaint is a word that's coming to mind.
But the focus of this cafe is very much more so on coffee. As you said, Grounded as a restaurant, you know, initially, whenever we opened up Grounded, it was, you know, I wanted a great coffee offer, but I didn't want a mediocre food offer alongside it. I wanted to match it, you know, and we've developed the business so much so that, you know, the food is our big thing down there. Like, you know, obviously coffee's very important, but this
very high quality food as well, I have to say.
But this cafe is very much, it's coffee focused. Yeah. So what we're going to be doing is we're focusing more on coffees, single origin beans. For example, at Grounded we have an espresso blend. In Finnegan and Son we're going to have 3 single origin coffee beans every week, and we're going to brew them differently. So again, it's very hard to explain. Maybe once we get up and running, I can bring in a couple of the
absolutely try it and see what the story is.
We can brew some coffees, and you know the whole purpose of it.
We can come to you and do a program from you. Yeah, it'd be nice to get the thing launched. That would be lovely.
And it's very much coffee focused. So people recognise that when you're tasting wines, you slurp it and you taste the tannins and the characteristics of it, and you do that with coffee as well. And these different brew methods, V60, Chemex, and AeroPress will let us do that.
Yeah, the Meadow, or Rooney's Meadow, or the Meda.
Yeah, the Meda.
It's a long way from coffee.
It is, yeah.
Where the kind of there's a transformation from buttermilk and tea up to coffee. Yeah. Where did that come from? That kind of new sophistication of palate.
I'm not too sure where it came from. In fact, I was watching a program about high tea last week, and I was watching it and I was sitting watching it, and the English drink so much tea, and the reason it comes from India is because they had an embargo in China and they started growing in India. And I was sitting wondering, why is there no tea shops, or not as many tea shops as coffee shops, because it's still the number one drink. It's still the number one. I'm not too sure where it came from. I think it's just it's the takeaway cup as well, and it's such a beautiful product.
Yeah,
I think it's, you know, it is. There's a cafe in the States called Stumptown, and there's a lovely video they do, and they would class themselves as, they don't own this coffee. They're just a steward. They're a steward for this coffee bean and its final journey.
Fair trade is important to you.
Fair trade is important to me, but what's more important is that establishing connections. We've got a roaster there who establishes direct connections with farms rather than fair trade. Yeah. Fair trade is you know, it's like anything else. Once it gets a bit of traction, it gets exploited. You know, whenever you've got a Nestle Kit Kat that's fair trade branded, there's a problem with fair trade. You know.
Yeah.
For example, I think that the premium fair trade premium is $1.50 per pound of coffee. If again, coffee has come along, and what the roasters do is they taste the coffee before they buy it. If it's a really good coffee, they bid on it. So if a farmer puts an awful lot of effort into making sure that the processes and everything involved in the chain is done correctly and produce a really great tasting coffee, roasters from all over the world will bid on that, and they can get up to $30, $40 per pound.
So the man you get your coffee off, where you buy your coffee, he's giving the farmers in the developing world a fair deal.
Yeah, a fairer deal than fair trade.
Yeah.
Obviously, they still do fair trade products, because there's an awful lot of people who would still stick their hat on the fair trade thing. But it's like anything else. I think you can be cynical, but you know, you can call me cynical about the fair trade movement. But you know, if people weren't cynical about things, what would happen is the people in the developing world would still get exploited.
Absolutely.
And over here, we just have a product with a sticker on it.
I was interested at the weekend to hear the figure coming out, the recommendation in the British political system within Cabinet. There's a recommendation that they go to 0.7 of the GMP to where that it be ring fenced with 0.7. And we haven't yet reached 0.7. No. But I remember 50 years ago when I worked developing Oxfam in Newry, because I was always interested in that. We then put an aspiration down, an aim, a target down of 1% of GNP. We never managed to do it. Never, ever, ever.
No, there's such an balance in the world. It's unbelievable when you've got companies like, and obviously companies, if they're making their money and they're doing it legitimately, that's dead on. But when you've got companies there like such as Apple who have $173 trillion sitting in the bank that they can't touch because if they take it out of the bank account, they pay tax on it. And whenever you've got Boots that don't pay their fair share, Facebook, all of these massive global corporations who are based in Dublin, not paying their correct revenues anywhere.
This came out this week, didn't it? The bank, it's in the front page here, you see. The HSBC bank, the Swiss element of it, they've been caught out at operating tax avoidance systems.
Just, we've got papers in front of us, Rowan, and essentially what they are, they're literature printed by the people that they're talking about there. So we don't bat a lid at this. Even like this week, your guy, this NBC newscaster who lied about his time in Iraq.
Yes.
So he's, okay, he shouldn't be on the news if he's doing that. But what about
George told all the time.
George Bush, Condoleezza Rice, and Dick Cheney, who lied about there being weapons of mass destruction there in the first place, leading to millions of people dead.
Yeah.
But
it's a madness.
The whole world.
And it's a madness that hasn't gone away because, did we ever think we'd see a man burnt to death in a cage? No. We never thought that. Well, mind you, that's the world you're growing older in, and the world that young James is growing up into.
It's frightening, and I think that's why you have to sort of, you put you focus on your community, I think, and that's where Grounded is based. Grounded is rooted, and Grounded has been successful because we've rooted ourselves in the community, and hopefully Finnegan and Son will follow suit with that.
Well, you're cheek by jowl, Finnegan and Son, and Grounded and Finnegan and Son, and we look forward to seeing it all in a month and a half's time. I want to thank you for coming in and kicking us off today.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
Yes,
yeah, it's great crack. As you say, it's incredible how quickly an hour goes.
Oh, it now flies by. That other fellow with you, that fellow who is made up of Manhattan, New York. Massively wonderful fellow, Barry
You'll have
Johnson.
to get Barry in someday.
Well, now I've been asking him, and he's been saying no. But you need to
have
go
to get
because
Barry
we
in.
want to hear of the American experience.
Yeah,
we want to hear
Barry
what
in.
makes Barry
See
the
what
Manhattanite
makes Barry,
he is. There's no two ways about it. Thanks for coming. We
Thank
wish
you,
you
Rob.
well. Wish
Thanks
you
a
good
lot.
luck. Grounded forever, and Finnegan and Son right up there as well.
Great.
This is Graeme Finnegan of Finnegan's. Grounded Coffee, and of course restaurants as well. And now Finnegan and Son coming very shortly. An expansive delving into the rattle bag of Graeme Finnegan's life up to now. We wish you well.
Thank you very much,
Take
Owen.
care. So to all of you out there, we'll say together we'll wish the people well. We'll see you in Grounded for a coffee, and be happy, enjoy life, and go well. Take care. All the best. See you in the morning. Michael and Charlotte, and dear brother of Unan. Little prayer simply says, may his soul rest in peace. Now, Gary's remains will repose at his brother Unan's home, 35 Pinewood Hill, Warren Point, from tomorrow Tuesday from 12 o'clock, the noontime hour, until removal to St. Peter's Church in Warren Point, arriving at 7 p.m. The funeral will then take place on Wednesday morning after the 10:30 Requiem Mass That's to St Mary's Cemetery in Burren. That's the passing of Gary Crawford of Warrenpoint and Edinburgh. I bring you news this morning of the passing of a Kilmurray Street man out of Newry, Brian Traynor. Brian Traynor, Kilmurray Street, Newry, died on the 6th, suddenly at his residence, 43 Kilmurray Street. Husband of the late Philomena and father of Sharon, Stephen, Simon, Paul, and the late Brian and Martin. Now, Brian's remains will leave his late residence today at